Hello, this is Professor chiicagoalmose. I'd like to talk today about a one-question test that you can give somebody when you're interviewing them for a job, or you want to know how smart your friends are. It's a test of critical thinking, and it's a test of cooperation. It's a test of intellectual curiosity, all in one question. The question is, what are the considerations that you would have if you were an engineer building a bridge about 1/8 of a mile long over a river? The bridge is designed for automobiles, trucks, pedestrians. If somebody says to you, I don't know anything about bridges, I would say they would not pass the test. If they say, I don't want to answer the question, or I'm not interested, they may have a valid reason, but generally it's because of they're just not intellectually curious, and they don't like to do critical thinking. So they may say, you may say to them, I have 10 things you might consider. There may be more, and tell me how many you can think of. If they come up with 1 or 2 and then they say, I don't know, then they're not really, probably not really strong intellectually or strong in the area of critical thinking. If they come up with 5 and then they look at you and don't ask what are the other 5, again, they're probably not too intellectually curious. And I know I wouldn't want to have a person like that on my team. The person on my team I would like to have would say, oh, I can think of 6 or 7, but what are the other 3? And somebody who would really be good would say, okay, we got 10. Let's think together real hard and see if we can come up with a couple more. Somebody is engaged and involved in the problem would be probably a very good worker if you need somebody who's smart. So let's think about some of the things that you might consider. See if I can come up with 10. And I'll count on my fingers. Number 1 would be when you're bracing the bridge in the waterbed, you want to consider how stable that would be, what it's going into and how you can make that stable. You want to be concerned about the materials that you use, whether they're strong enough to do the job. Also, you want to be concerned about the supplier to make sure they have a good history of following through on giving good materials and having good materials available when needed. You would be concerned about the swaying of the bridge, about the design of the bridge. You'd be concerned about the height of the bridge in relationship to boats that might be passing by. Political considerations would be something you'd look at to see if there's something that can interfere with the bridge being made the way you want it to be made. The weather is a consideration. Will the weather affect the sway or the erosion of the bridge? That's 8. I had 10 before and I forgot. the strength of the bridge in certain circumstances. In other words, if there's a lot of heavy traffic and it congregates in one particular area over a short period of time, will that affect the bridge? And if there's going to be pedestrians, you want to make sure that they don't fall off the bridge when they're walking across it. So you want to have a safety rail. So that's 10. I'm sure there are more. But the point is that when you ask a question to somebody, if they get excited about the challenge and delve into it and ask more questions and think about it critically, that person is probably smart. Because people who are not very smart don't do that. They try to avoid engagement in intellectual problems. So you can use this test actually as an interview question, see what happens. Or you can interview a friend who's supposed to be smart or has a advanced degree of some kind, and you want to see if they're really smart and see how they answer it. I found personally that many people with advanced degrees are even reluctant to engage in problems in their own field for whatever reason. So of course education is not necessarily an indication of critical thinking. In fact, in many schools, even though they claim to teach critical thinking upon critical analysis, they don't. They're interested in short answers and memory, even in some of the advanced courses. Okay, thank you.